Married to their hourly wage of sin. The waves of the slaves are in. Once again, gotta go back to a time when we were paid in calories. Shit, we was famous then. Say my name again, I'm gaining strength.
For the self-help wealth, only play the cards I was dealt. If you ever struggle, I know how you felt. For the self-help wealth, never set your crown on the shelf. I've been living like I'm fighting for the belt. For the self-help wealth, only play the cards I was dealt. If you ever struggle, I know how you felt. For the self-help wealth, never set your crown on the shelf. I've been living like I'm fighting for the belt. That cloth talk, that chinchilla, red pillar, man in the mirror. My father has many mansions. My mind travels like city Hamptons. Shabazz Palace in the heavens. The pillars blowing up your phone, Galaxy 7. That holy world on my shoulder, galaxy in heavens. Big heavy lifting, carrying the crucifixion. For every Christian, the pillars be buzzing like Chevy engines. Mixing superstition, facts and fiction, true religion, black magicians, activism, activists sipping on activism. We are not the same. Oculus Rift to your Activision. Commodore 64. All I know is carnivores and shitty horse. On a night shift like Commodores in 84. Obey these laws. They want to slay these Moors. Seen the same wolves that Bill Bixby saw in the age of the Ultron. Coolest king in the jungle. They raised us on Voltron. He-Man, Skeletor. Masters of the universe, Optimus, Megatron, blasting near the Toolies burst, Transformer, G.I. Joe's, 3 eyes closed, Dr. Mindbender, Poppy Field Farms, Dr. Octopus Arms. For the self-help wealth, only play the cards I was dealt. If you ever struggle, I know how you felt. For the self-help wealth, never set your crown on the shelf. I've been living like I'm fighting for the belt. For the self-help wealth, only play the cards I was dealt. If you ever struggle, I know how you felt. For the self-help wealth, never set your crown on the shelf. I've been living like I'm fighting for the belt.
Joe, we communicate non-verbal. We illuminate beyond circles, spheres of influence. Here to send
All right, there you have it. That's Self-Help Wealth featuring Cambada off of the Twin double album, Twin the Album. You can find that on twinthealbum.com. You can find that on Tidal. You can find it on Apple Music. Either put Twin Pillars or Twin the Album, and you can stream that. All right, we put that out 2018. That's a classic right there. Double album, 23 songs. Welcome to episode 28 of Third Eye Thursdays. This is your host, Red Pillar. I'm in the building with Landover. I'm in the building with West Phoenix, Arizona. You know what I'm talking about? I am in the building with Pennsylvania by way of Pittsburgh. I'm in the building with the south side of H-Town. Memphis is in the building. You dig? Shout out to Memphis, Gary, Indiana, Inglewood, Utah. Salute Inglewood, Jersey City. I like Inglewood. I was in Inglewood a lot. I'm feeling Inglewood. KC in the building, Charlotte, North Carolina in the building, North Philly in the building, New Mexico is in the building. Oh, North Miami, 305. Money is a major issue. Dade County, you already know. Dale. Merritt Island, Florida. All right, Portland, Oregon. San Jose, Dallas by way of New Orleans, 504. You don't know. DC, 202. MD, 301. OKC in the building. Shout out to Miss P. Thank you for the love. Boston, Blue Hill, you already know. New Orleans, East, 504. Shout out to New Orleans. We're going to talk about the unfortunate incident with Miss Sadie that took place in New Orleans. Richmond, Virginia. Salute to Richmond. Yeah, live from the Land of Snakes. We need to get you to Regards County, bro. All right, hit me up. Prospect Heights, Brooklyn. What it do? Yeah, the DMV. Y'all be in here real heavy. And being that you being here so heavy, I'm assuming that when I pull up to Baltimore, and it's gonna be in August, that y'all gonna come out, right? Y'all gonna fill up those seats like you did in Philadelphia. You know what I'm talking about? Like you did in Texas, Vancouver, Washington, Kentucky. Yes, sir. You know, like you did in Long Island. You know, I wish it was more people at the Long Island event, but y'all was definitely in the building. Sacktown in the building. You know, salute to the Sacktown. Okay. How's everybody doing today? You know, it's been a while. Well, not really a while. It just was the other day. Monday we were together. Miami checking in, Long Island checking in, Strong Island checking in. You feel me? You feel me? Yeah, you was there from Long Island. It should have been packed. It should have been standing room up in that field was mad big. That shit would have been a dope event if more people would have pulled up because you had some heavy hitters in the building. They had some heavy hitters. They would have really turned up. Leesburg, Virginia in the building. All right, World Citizen checking in. You know, um, but that panel that you saw in Long Island. Oh, you yes, okay, Sister Latifa, salute to you. If you thought that that was powerful, you're gonna see you're gonna see more of that. Tallahassee, you're gonna see more of that. You're gonna see that panel form Voltron on maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more occasions because you know that much power. No one man should have all that power, but all of that power, it uh it has solutions embedded in its demonstration. So that demonstration definitely has to travel. It gotta hit the grid. You know, it gotta hit it has to hit the grid. You know what I'm talking about? It has to touch other energy grids. Um, when we touch the energy grids, then we get to spark the people who are on those grids, who are tapped in. You got to be tapped in. You got to be plugged in. You know, you could be a knuckle dragger just dragging along the grid, and nothing that happens on the grid affects you. You don't pick up no kind of signals, or you don't get any downloads, or you don't, you know, you're not uploading anything. But if you're tapped in, if you're really tapped in to what's going on, if you plugged in with the plugs and the sockets, then you're gonna benefit off of all of the work that's being done on your grid, you know, and your community, and then the children vicariously are gonna benefit off of that because I could put money on it that a year from now, brothers and sisters in Long Island, where we just did that demonstration, the wake up call last Friday, I could put money on it that the seeds that were planted, they're going to sprout and they're going to give birth to some kind of growth. Some kind of trees are going to be born out of that demonstration that that took place last weekend, because it wasn't just us doing the panel. It was on Saturday. They were having fun. Then on Sunday, brother Umar Johnson, he came and he delivered the the closing, the keynote speech, I would call it. Yeah, shout out to AK Entertainment. And we coming to DC. I'm coming to Baltimore in August, right? Yeah, there was a cleanup for the community on Saturday. So Friday was the panel where you had Brother Ben X, Rizza Islam, Brother Red Pill, Sister Tazara Path, Brother Squirrelfoot, um, brother Yarima Karama, brother Pop Darby, right? And special guest, brother Hafiz, Minister Hafiz Muhammad, the head, the HNIC of Temple Number 7 in Harlem. All right, the big dog. Okay, you know that was on Friday, and that shook him up, right? That shook him up. And then on Saturday, it was a community cleanup, and the people were participating who were on the panel. I was in Philadelphia doing the lecture, so I wasn't able to do the community cleanup. But from the pictures that I saw, brothers that were on the panel were out there cleaning their community up. And then on Sunday, we had Dr. Umar Johnson closing out. He did like a 4-hour lecture. So the brothers and sisters, whoever was in attendance, they definitely have benefited off of a heavy display of not only information, but action, proaction, demonstrations of, unity, seeing people who you just see on your phones and your computers in real life, and those people happen to still be the same people in real life. Not even just the same people. They might even be cooler in real life than they on those phones and whatnot. You feel me? So one thing that I know, and one thing that I'm aware of, and one thing that I could be certain of, as long as your boy is breathing, I will not stop traveling, doing lectures, laying it down, taking the show on the road. You know what I'm talking about? And tapping into different energy grids the same way that I was tapping into those grids and tapping into those quiet towns and tying them down when I was living in another life, when I was carrying on another lifestyle, and when I was adhering to another frequency. I, I took my show on the road. You know what I'm talking about? I exported, you know, the criminology. So as a result of that, now that I'm doing what I'm doing, and not just me, but I belong to a collective, and I belong to a pantheon. And when I was in the streets, or whatever you call it, I belonged to a collective then, a family then, a pantheon then, you know what I mean? A team. It was a bunch of team players then. You know what I'm saying? Same type of program. We had a mission. We were on missions. We had purpose. You know what I'm saying? Clothes, bankrolls, and hoes. That was our purpose. Designer clothes, bankrolls, and hoes. That's what we was living for, you know. And now it's the same. It's not bankrolls and hoes no more. You know, it's something on a whole nother level. But we got purpose now. We have a mission that we're fulfilling now. There's a team of us. There's a set of us. There's a collective of us. There's a mob of us. Whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing, but on a higher level. Stakes are higher. You know, stakes are higher. When I was younger, I was taking penitentiary chances. You know, not really factoring in the risks that I was taking. And as I get older, shit, I'm taking penitentiary chances. And I haven't factored in the risk that I'm taking. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just this time around, my parents are proud of me. You know what I mean? So I'm still on the fucking cross. I'm still flirting with death. I'm still on a tight, I'm still walking on the ledge. You understand? I'm still doing that. I'm still at risk, my niggas. That's still me. You know what I'm saying? That's still me every day. And I think that I'm a little more noticeable than how I was when I was in the quote unquote underworld. Because let me share something with you. When I was in the underworld, All of this conversation about white people threatening, and being a threat, and white people, having niggas' hearts in a jar. That conversation never took place when I was in the quote unquote underworld. That shit would never be entertained. I don't care how rambunctious the police was getting. We never had these conversations. Nobody never expressed any kind of fear whatsoever towards no kind of cracker on the planet. I mean, George Bush, all of them was running around being cowboys. Nobody was scared of anybody. Nobody ever expressed the kind of fear that I see emanate from supposedly tough niggas from the streets, right? Let's start with them. All of the goons and the goblins that be on social media, all them niggas is scared, and they sound scared, they act scared, and they be putting out memes that reflect that they're scared, right? These are some of the same niggas that I was in the streets with. I'm just sitting back right now watching them still dragging their knuckles and doing street shit, but these niggas are new. It's a new scaredness. Because they didn't have that kind of fear prior to 9/11. Them niggas was not compromised the way that they are prior to 9/11. I think when we were wearing baggy jeans, my nigga, we let it all hang out. And niggas just was a little more tougher, you know? I can't necessarily talk crazy because your boy wears some fitted jeans these days. So, I don't know. I don't know if it made me less tougher or whatever. The jury is still out. But I'm just saying, the conversations that black people are having as a collective in 2019 would never have taken place in 2009 or 1999. It just wouldn't. Niggas was not expressing fear and pessimism about the future the way that they are now. This is a very interesting time. I need people to really realize that. Like, take a step back and analyze the mind state and the level of cowardice and the level of versus the level of warrior or what's the word? Testicular fortitude that black men are displaying to the world, not to Red Pill, not to other niggas, not to the social media. No, to the world. Not because we're on social media now. So everything that we do is on a global scale. We're under a global microscope. We are in the proverbial world stage. We are on the world stage. Our culture is a global culture, right? Our culture is a global culture. Our culture, hip hop, is the #1 genre and the #1 culture amongst the youth and young adults everywhere around the world. So as a result of that, everybody paying attention to you. They want to know what you think. They want to know what you up to. They want to know how you moving. They want to know what the new smoke is. And when they pay attention to us, and everybody's not looking for a tough guy. There's a lot of people around the world that just want you to have positive vibes only. There's a lot of people around the world that just want to see a rainbow on your timeline. There's a lot of people around the world that just want to see you, basically domesticated, right? Because black people, especially black men, can be intimidating, right? To other men. You know what I'm talking about? And their women. There's a level of attraction that we emit, tall, dark, and handsome. There's a level of mystique that we emit because a lot of women want to know, are the rumors true? You feel me? There's a level of magnetism. You know what I'm saying? There's a level of allure that we possess. Mainly because, we carry ourselves with a confidence as confidants, because some of us are very sure of who we are inherently. It ain't even. It's not even some shit that niggas just sit in study halls and find out about themselves. You got little one month babies that's at 1 month. They know who the fuck they are. You know what I'm talking about? They got little 1 year olds. They know who they are. They didn't have to read a book. They born with it. You know what I'm talking about? We have uncomparable swag. I don't like to use that word, but it's part of the lexicon that people could understand. There's nobody else on the planet with our swag. You know what I'm saying? They got little babies in Asia trying to copy it, but it just doesn't measure up. It don't measure up. I'm talking natural swag. I'm talking, remember, there's something called the Hermetic Principles. And in the Hermetic Principle, it deals with rhythm, the law of rhythm, along with the law of duality, along with the law of genders, along with the law of, what is that, correspondence? So our rhythm, the fact that everything has rhythm, right? But we have a level of width, we have an equilibrium, and we have rhythm where we're tapped into the magnetic fields around, and there's a rhythm because of the relationship that we have with the magnetic field. You know what I'm talking about? And there's this rhythm. They're bop, niggas got a bop, and their walk and whatnot. So a lot of that shit plays into the psyches of other races. You come in a building, you don't even gotta be hype. You know what I'm saying? You could just be, you could just be as is. You could just be, like I just woke up like this. And you'll still intimidate other people because they think that you could take their good. It's almost like they afraid that you'll take something from them. You understand? It's almost like they're afraid that you'll forfeit, that you're like, yo, give me your girl. You know what I'm saying? Move. Like, there's something inside of their psyche that they remember when we were moving like that. Because there was a time when we were moving like that. There was a time in history where we were coming through taking daughters and wives with us. You understand? There was a time, I must admit. There comes a time when you need a helping hand in the world. Yeah, it was the Melania Trumps and all of them, the Eastern European, the Slavs. You know what I'm saying? They was on us. The Ivanka Trumps. Yeah, they was when we was back in they land in the Caucasus Mountains and places like that. Oh man, they was on us, God. You know what I'm talking about? They was on us. We was laying down a lot of, we were laying down a lot of law, if that's what you want to call it. You know, and we were, they was out there choosing. You know what I'm saying? We was the chosen ones because they was always choosing. The physical physique was there. We were brave warriors. We were royals. Niggas knew a few languages. You know what I'm talking about? We were master swordsmen. You know what I'm talking about? We were very skilled with our hands. We were agriculturists, and we were protectors. And that's what they like. That's what they like. We mastered ourselves. And that's what they copied. And they were very envious of that. And a lot of that jealousy and enviness carries on to this day. And it shows itself in the form of what we call white fragility. Or it shows itself in what we call the form of white inferiority. So white inferiority and white fragility and this genetic inferiority that they feel around people who they can't, it doesn't matter how much money that they can't erase that. They can't scrub their super and subconsciousness of the fact that you are who you are and they are not you. They cannot scrub that fact. They could be a buddy, old pal, smoking mad joints with you. You understand? Taking showers with you and whatnot. You know, that they're your jock friend. They're hanging out with you. You guys are tossing the pigskin around, or dunking the ball and whatnot. that inferiority is always going to come out. That fragility is always going to surface and show its face. And if you're running around acting inferior and fragile, nigga, then your wrist is broken. That's the results of that. Because if you run around and you're acting fragile and you're acting inferior around Caucasians, they're gonna dominate you. It's called Damo culture. You know what I mean? It's a Greco-Roman type of thing. Them niggas will take you down, or they will proposition you, because that's their culture and that's their nature. You understand? They don't have a problem. They don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. That's what they do. So if you running around mad moist, your backbone is not intact, you understand, and you're feeling inferior about who you are around another race of people who adherently feel inferior around you, nigga, you're living backwards. You have the evils. You understand? You're gonna live in a backward state, and you're gonna do shit that's considered to be backwards because you're not in your proper persona. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to feel inferior, and you're damn sure not supposed to feel no kind of way about you're not supposed to feel a fragility around some peckerwoods, nigga. You done play in a sandbox with these niggas. You don't know what they're built from. You don't remember them from kindergarten, fam. I do. You don't. I do. I remember who they are. You know what I'm saying? I would never. I, I I remember them from the sandbox. I used to be in Central Park with these niggas. You know what I'm talking about? They mad moist. And I've always said it, and I put it on record because the you know the Jeffro Bodine uh Steven Negro, what's the nigga from the Django? Stefan. The Steffens out there hop out and be like, well, if they so soft, or if they so inferior, or if they so weak, then why do they got they foot on our neck? The reason why they got their foot on their neck is because you niggas was on your knees in the first place, and they just knocked you down and put their foot on your neck. The reason why they are in the position that they're in is because you are not in your proper persona. You're not in your proper position. Nigga, they're exceeding the throne, and they're sitting on your throne shaking. They're scared to death that one day you niggas might fucking wake up. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with him. He's the result of your goofiness. He's the result of your inferior complex. He's the result of the fact that you have fallen into your lower self, nigga. You're in a sunken place. So he's going to naturally rise up. Once God falls, who the fuck do you think rises up in their place? But you can tell by looking around at a deteriorating planet that the people who sat in your throne and took your place was never meant for that. As a result of they fucked the house up, bro. They messed the ocean up. They messed the skies up. They done fucking stripped down the mountains. They done stripped the Amazon down. They polluted the oceans. There's fucking death zones all up and down the ocean. You wasn't carrying on like that as the caretaker of daughter Earth, Mama Galaxy, like Sister Myra said on the show, Know the Ledge radio show. It's daughter Earth, Mama Galaxy. And you were holding Mama down, and as a result of them taking the throne or taking the reins, you see the plans that they have for Mama and daughter. All right? They're not the natural heirs to this shit because they can't even drive the bus. They're driving this goddamn planet off of a cliff. You know what I'm saying? So they enemies of the state. And until the Negro decalcifies their pineal, translation, until you niggas wake up, right? Until you niggas get out the bed, because a lot of you niggas is woke and it's not changing the atmosphere. It's not changing the temperature of nothing. Get out. Until you niggas get out of the goddamn bed and do something. Ain't shit gonna change. Grab, you know what I mean? Whilst in your skinny jeans, nigga, it's easier now than before. Grab your nuts, okay? Grab your scrotum sack. You know what I'm talking about? and hold them shits and do something that's going to disrupt the trajectory that they have our race going in. Because those of us that are doing the heavy lifting, we get tired sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We could use some fucking assistance. You know what I mean? And the peanut galleries always sitting back eating their peanuts and they not contributing anything. And then every fucking 9 to 5, they're in the peanut gallery, but they're not taking back their power from this European. They not giving him back his gods. Because Noble Drew Ali told Negroes, blacks, and coloreds to give the European back their gods. This is before the TV show American Gods came out, when they explained that a lot of you niggas is praying to Odin, Beelzebub. A lot of you niggas is praying to European demiurges and demigods that have, you know, that they're cosplaying some fucking righteous messengers. They're just caught. They're, you know, that's not really who they are. When you take the mask off, it's a demiurge. It's a fucking entity. So Noble Drew Ali told niggas to get them niggas back to the European. He could use them shits. You can't. Here it is. You on your knees wailing and crying and, oh, Jesus. And that's the demiurge that they was hanging people and killing people in his name during what is known as the doctrine of discovery, the Intercatera Divina, the age of discovery. Nigga, this is an entity. This is an egregor. They summoned that nigga. He's been summoned. The motherfucker who the Rome is killing in the name of, he was summoned from the catacombs of some deep dark place, and motherfuckers be on their knees praying to that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Women be having orgasms and thinking about Jesus, looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy. So y'all giving that motherfucker his power. It's not that you can't blame it on a cracker. He's under he might be even under the control of some shit that he don't even know about. You can't blame him. They were not. They were. These were our children at one point. We were raising them. You understand what I'm saying to you? We were teaching them how to eat, bro. We were teaching them how to eat. So they're under the control. They're under the marching orders of something more intelligent and wickeder than them. These people are vassals. They're vessels. They're you know, something has control of them as a collective, as a collective mind. You know what I mean? Something has control over the collective mind. And to be honest with you, you know, I don't know. It has a lot to do with the connection that they have with the Holy Roman Catholic Church. You know what I'm saying? These people are ruthless. These people are ruthless. Yes, reptilians. I'm really leaning towards non-humanoid life forces, you know, that are definitely, you know, in alignment or in allegiance with this race of people. It's 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 a no-brainer at this point. It's a no-brainer. You know? So knowing that these people who look like us, right? Our Negroid family, our melanated family, right? Knowing that this is imperative and tantamount that our people take back the power that they've given to everybody but themselves, right? Because that's very important. That's extremely important, you know, especially for those of us who say that we want to see change take place during our lifetimes and whatnot. Well, the change that you want to see take place is mostly going to come from your people, you know? I don't want to see Europeans are never going to change. You niggas is holding your breath, good luck. They ain't never going to change. You know what I'm saying? Will Becky's be more nicer to you? Maybe. Will white men be more pleasant to you, sisters? You know what I'm saying? Will they, will they try to slide you to the crib? You know what I mean? Will they be nicer to you? Will they not stop abusing you and just love you, like Prince Charming, like the nigga that's gonna love the Black Mermaid on the Princess? Y'all want white men to be your prince in shining armor, and I'm not talking about you per se, but that's what they've trained black women to look for. You know, the knight in shining armor. He's her polar opposite. You understand that? He's her polar opposite. The opposite energy to the black woman on this planet is the white man. The opposite energy of the black man on this planet is the white woman. When we're talking about the laws of dualities, opposites, it's not black man, black woman. It's black woman, white man, white woman. Okay? So y'all gotta be very careful. Because in this day and time, what I'm seeing is black women are very attracted to white men. Extremely. Extremely. And it wasn't like that when I was younger. What the fuck happened? So the more trauma and the more that they bang on the black man and the more that they're murdering and they're going hard on the black man, the more that the white courts are persecuting black men, the more that they're locking up black men, the more that they're shooting down and executing black men, the more that they're embarrassing black men, black women is falling in love with these same men. Everywhere I go. I was in LA, they swirling. I was in DMV, nigga, they swirling. I was in Atlanta, they swirling. I was in New York, they swirling. They swirling everywhere I go. I was in Miami, they swirling. So it's like, is this what feminism is doing to our sisters? Is this what it's doing to our sisters? Talk to me. Is it saying that, yo, black men need to be dominated? Because black women said that they love black men who are fucking black men, right? Black women said that they watch black men penetrating black men because they wanted to see the black man get dominated. That is a fact. Talk black to me. I'll show you the email where the sister wrote, me and brother Rich. She said that a black woman who was abused before, she was like, yo, I'm turned on by watching black men penetrate other black men because that shit brings me joy by watching that nigga get dominated. I'm saying, don't say it's disgusting. Y'all got gay friends. Y'all have gay black men who are out here dominating other black men. You never thought about what that shit looks like? You know what I'm talking about? There are black women who love to watch black gay men have sex. This and you mean to tell me that we're not reaching a level of dehumanization? We're not reaching a level of entropy? We're not reaching a level of, like, this is like it gets to a point to where how far are we going to travel on a downward spiral. Where do you think that the downward spiral is going to take us? Everyone having a hot girl summer? All of my hot boys? Where do you think the downward spiral is going to take us? Even during the heights of the crack epidemic, when shit was completely upside down, it wasn't as bad as this. Even with that, even with women selling their babies for a hit, even with grown black men doing anything to suck on that glass pipe, they were not falling to the levels, they were not descending to the levels that they're descending today when niggas are not on crack and they got credit cards and credit. You know what I'm talking about? And they got foreign cars. They got American Express cars with no limit. You know what I mean? Like, niggas is not held back. There's nobody's holding them back. You know what I'm talking about? And with all of that freedom that they've given niggas, and all of the freedom that black people have been afforded, even though they would say that they live in a cage, it's an invisible cage, and they're suppressed, but every nigga that I know that left America to travel came back mad humble and was like, nah, we good over here. We living right. You know what I mean? They shut that up real quick. There's like, nah, I thought I was struggling. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is in shanty towns, really giving it up. They come back home and them niggas is humble. They don't even want to come to the meetings anymore about the struggle. They like, nah, I'm good with that. I'm gonna go get this job at Walmart and say my prayers. You know what I mean? Fuck is you talking about? There is no struggle. I'm gonna go ride me I'm gonna go drive a Uber or a Lyft and listen to you niggas on Blog Talk, but I will never be at any other your meetings because I can't. No, there's no struggle, nigga. There's no struggle. Niggas seen struggle and they know that this ain't it. They know that this is not it. They know that this is a bunch of niggas who don't want to admit that they got their asses handed to them and they have to figure out a strategy to get off their fucking knees. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is. That's what this is. You know, a bunch of new niggas that are letting down their OGs and the motherfuckers who came before us who was mad tougher and who was really trying to figure this shit out, like in the 60s and the 70s. You know what I'm talking about? They was moving with a purpose. What happened to them? Hey, they fell. You know, they got trapped up. They started smoking woolies, turned into crackheads. You know what I'm talking about? They got jammed up in the 80s and caught the goddamn crime bill. They got slapped with 3 strikes and you're out. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I can't really factor that in when I'm a grown-ass man. Right? And nobody is going to come and save me. And then I have 100 master teachers that I could think back and call on, you know. So to be honest with you, the OGs and the elders say they saved my life. They did their part. Maybe not the niggas that was in the park on the park bench. Maybe not the niggas who was giving niggas bundles of crack to sell. Maybe not them niggas. But some old niggas helped me out. You know what I'm saying? Like some elders, Dr. Sabi pulled up. Dr. Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Blair, Hakeem Bey, Taj Tariq Bey. Like, I could go on for days. Like, some older black people from out of the 70s, when the time called for it, nigga, they helped out. So I ain't gonna run around and try to indict every single old person like they let who down. They didn't let me down. The ones who let themselves down, that's on them. You know, that's on them. They don't get the glory. That's on them. They got to live with that. But there's a handful. If there's 100 out of the millions of older people who are out here, if it's 100, then they did their work. They did monumental things because they just didn't help me. They helped a whole bunch of people. Azra Kwesi, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Shahrazad Ali, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Neely Fuller, R.V. Bay, Yafa Bay. I could go on for days. These are parents. These are some of them is grandparents. You know, some of them is grandparents. Most of them is grandparents. So they could have been on their old head shit. You know what I'm saying? They could have been on some trying to make a nigga read the Watchtower and the last, the final call or something. You know what I mean? They could have been on. They could have been trying to hit us with the 1980s consciousness. You know what I'm saying? But they decided to keep it pushing, and they wrote books, and they dedicated their waking hours to waking people up. They did lectures. They wrote books. They put in work. So I'm not one of these niggas that's gonna run around acting like, I've been let somebody abandon. I'm not abandoned. I don't got abandonment issues. For the old niggas who turned into crackheads, and for the older niggas who fell off and whatnot, and for the older niggas who didn't do anything to help elevate the youth, nigga, y'all living in your own personal hells right now. So what is it that I can say that could change anything? But for the ones who did the work, I'm going to make sure, that you're going to be in a museum. I'm going to make sure that your names and your legacies are going to be honored in the future. You know what I mean? Because y'all honorable people. You're honorable people. The more that I realize what this whole thing is and how detrimental our ignorance is, I have more respect by the day and by the hour for the master teachers and the ones who set up this community and gave our people the keys and the tools that they needed in order to wake them up. I'm going all the way back to a Dr. York. You know what I mean? I wasn't a Nuwabian, so I don't know what took place on Eatonton, on the land and whatnot. I wasn't there to witness nothing, but his contributions to consciousness by way of the pamphlets and the books that he wrote and things of that nature, he helped out niggas who helped you out. You feel me? He might not have helped you out directly, but he assisted and he helped out some of your master teachers or some of the people who helped you out. Shout out to Empress B444. Give her a resounding shout out, y'all. She's out there in VA making big moves. She has a podcast. Make sure y'all go and listen to her podcast. They out there dropping gems and whatnot. You feel me? You smell me? So don't ever, before anybody condemns any of our master teachers, there's 8 million old niggas that you should talk about first before you ever mention their names. You got to get past 8 million zombies. Walking dead ass old niggas. You got to get past 8 million walking dead black zombies before you even talk about any of our master teachers and what they didn't do for your little asses. You know what I'm saying? As if, that's that entitlement shit. Like you niggas should have been in the library. Nobody owes you shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody owes you a goddamn thing. So, the rabbit hole, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Dr. York, man, he has some classic books. I remember being in boot camp, and in boot camp, they wouldn't allow us to read no books, no magazines. You couldn't watch TV. You couldn't listen to the radio. You couldn't even read the newspaper. Like, when Aaliyah died, I had to find out by pulling something. Like, I had to go in the garbage and read a newspaper while they had us at work cleaning up bathrooms and whatnot. Straight slave labor. They had us in white towns, and when I was in boot camp, straight slave labor. That's why I'm like, niggas on the chain gang, is slaves. You understand? So I found out about Aaliyah by sneaking in the garbage and reading the newspaper, bro. Them niggas told us when Princess Diana died, they did not tell us that Aaliyah died. And being in that boot camp, I actually seen how, they could have you cut off from the world. Like we were completely cut off from the world. But anyway, the um the Aaliyah thing, yeah. The Aaliyah thing was hard, you know what I'm saying? I remember the date, August 28th, 2001. Black people were so hurt about Aaliyah that when the Twin Towers fell, I don't even think they had it in them to, like, they were so numb. They were still numb from Aaliyah. You know? They couldn't cry. They was like, nigga, Aaliyah died. Like, I'm hurt over that. Y'all trying to put extra trauma on us. That was extra trauma. That was trauma on trauma. You feel me? That was trauma on trauma. If Jay-Z didn't drop the Blueprint album, mad niggas would have started committing suicide. You know what I mean? That album offset the trauma. Especially in New York. You know, especially in New York. Boot camp, man, hell yeah. I couldn't have no hair in boot camp, nigga. Oh, alright. August the 25th. I came home August 28th. Pardon me. I came home from boot camp on the 28th. That's why I remember the day. She died on the 25th. Yes, I came home on the 28th and the buildings fell September 11th, like a few weeks later. You know? So that was a very unfortunate incident. You know, when the Indians went to school, they made them cut their hair off and stop speaking their language. Of course, that's part of the doctrine of discovery. They had American schools where they would Americanize you. They did the same thing to Juan Valdez and them. They did the same thing to the Central and South Americans. They sent them to these um, schools to Christianize them. You understand? They Christianized them and they sent them back into their communities or their villages, mad moist. You feel me? Mad moist. You know? So I want to remind the family so we don't forget that on Sunday, this Sunday, I will be doing a live stream. And that live stream will start at 7 p.m. Eastern and it will go tentatively into midnight. And that lecture is on Eventbrite. It's a live stream. Anybody can watch it. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your laptop. You can watch it on your desktop. It'll actually be a Zoom. So send me, oh, don't send me anything. Go to Eventbrite and put Into Deep 2, the number 2, the letter N, the number 2, deep, and the number 2. And you will be able to get a ticket. I believe it's only $20 on Eventbrite. And I will send you the link for the lecture right before the lecture. Okay? So I look forward to the family being in the building, especially those who saw the American Gods and the any other lecture that I did, but especially the American Gods. If you saw that, that's the same format I will be doing the Into Deep Part 2 lecture in. So check me out. Check me out. Okay? Into Deep is going to focus on the deep web. It's going to focus on the deep mind, which is AI, artificial intelligence. The deep web is the military form of the internet, not the regular internet, but the military government form of the internet, where a lot of criminals, a lot of government officials, a lot of pedophiles, and a lot of traffickers utilize the deep web as their it's basically, their stomping grounds, right? Then we're also going to talk about the deep state, right? We're also going to talk about the deep state. We're going to get into the deep state. We're going to explain to the family what the deep state is and how it affects the government and what it means to our people, and why should we know about the deep state. And then a new addition, we're also going to talk about the deep fakes. The deep fake. Will we talk about 5G? No. We're going to talk about the deep fake. And the deep fake is the technology and the software that they're using, where they could take this video right here and make me say something completely different. They could take Obama's face and they could manipulate his mouth, and he could basically say something that it's not Obama saying it. And I'm also going to add the Deep South, right? The Deep South. So I'm going to get into the Deep South because I feel that everywhere that I'm doing research, all of the deep state research, that's a lot of shit going on in the Deep South. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Face app when we talk about the deep fakes. We're going to talk about the Face apps, right? So now that they got people's faces with the Face app recognition, see, when I talk about big data is companies swooping in to buy your face because of the agreement that you signed with, what is it, Snapchat? What was the program from? Is it an app or is it Snapchat? Whatever agreement that you signed up to, when you didn't read the user agreement, you just press OK. It took a picture of your face, but that picture of your face is now part of data. That data can now be sold to third parties. So now that third party can now it has your face, it has your dimensions, it has your sacred geometry. And what can that company do? That company can now sell your picture to a deep fake company, where now they can have you talking and saying shit and doing shit and being places where you never were. Face recognition. It's a double-edged sword to face recognition. So just keep that in mind, because there's a back door open on face recognition where companies can sell your goddamn face. And there's people out here that could do stuff with your face that could potentially put your ass into some trouble. You could get into some trouble. Trouble. And I'm not talking about the avatar on the iPhone per se. Yeah, Facebook and iPhone do face recognition. I'm also talking about the face capturing app, the one that made niggas look like a woman. You know, when they had that app out, and the new one that's making you old face niggas look older. You niggas already old in the face. What the fuck you using the app for? You know what I'm talking about? Niggas is 32 looking like they 72, and you using the face app? What are you doing? You want to look like a fossil? You know what I'm talking about? Niggas mad old in the face using the face app. I would expect people with baby faces to play with the app, not you old face niggas. You know? So the deep south, y'all. The deep south, man. So much fuckery with these Europeans. Remember, the deep south is the solid south. The Deep South is the Death Star of white supremacy. Okay? Yeah, it's the Vatican in some ways, but the Death Star to American, USA American, white, all of the white terrorism is the Deep South. Do you know that there's 3 states, Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas, that celebrates Robert E. Lee Day the same day as Martin Luther King, bro? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. There's 3 states on the books that have on the same day of Martin Luther King holiday, these cocksuckers have Robert E. Lee Day. Robert E. Lee is like black people's Hitler, okay? Robert E. Lee is a complete op, all right? He is like a King Leopold. He is the general of the Civil War against our people. These cocksuckers commemorate him and consecrated him, and they're carrying on rituals by giving this motherfucker a holiday. 3 states, y'all. 3 states. And I don't understand how niggas could live in those states and allow shit like that to take place. Then last week, the same day that they found Miss Sadie in the trunk of her car in Louisiana, which is the #1 hotbed for the KKK, and it's also the #1 state where they are incarcerating our people the most. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters who have come up dead in Louisiana, right? Who are frontline workers, okay? But the same day that they found our beloved elder, Sister Sadie, in Tennessee, the governor had a proclamation for a white KKK Grand Wizard, one of the founding fathers of the KKK, got his own holiday in goddamn Tennessee, and the governor signed off on it. Niggas did not burn Tennessee down. He gave that nigga a whole weekend. Who had the Albert Pike statue? What state had the Albert Pike statue? They're never going to take their statues down. You niggas lost that fight. You're going to have to take it down. And when they run down on you, you're going to have to defend yourself. Yes, they killed her during a hurricane. She died. Sister Sadie, she was murdered during Hurricane Barry. Suffocated, strangled, and put in the trunk. I'm reading reports where they're saying that the quote-unquote suspect was in jail at the time that they claimed that he killed her. I'm not 100% sure about that because I read another report where it said that he was seen on surveillance to be in the same vicinity where the sister was before she died. But like I said, the way the technology is going these days, they said that, yeah, he lived in the building and he was one of the tenants. That's what was said. But her sister, Mama Sadie's sister, also said that her sister came to her house to get some flour for something that she was baking, right? And then she left the house real quick to do something and she never returned. And this was in the afternoon at 11 a.m. and she was found at 3 p.m. in the trunk of her car behind some house after the police received an anonymous tip. So now you got black people saying, yeah, you can't trust niggas and don't help niggas out and don't rent your rooms to niggas and this is what niggas do to each other. And I'm like, stop jumping to conclusions so quickly and to tear down one another. Let's just do the research. Let's just do the research. Let's see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? This was a pillar in our community. This was the pillar in the Louisiana community. This was a pillar in the civil rights movement. So, you know, if that was the case, if that's who wound up being the murderer of Mama Sadie, then that's a failure. That is a crying shame. The ancestors are gonna shed tears about that because it goes against everything that that woman lived for. And for her to be staring at somebody who looks like her in the last moments of her life, to be snuffed from her like that at 75, it just hurts, yo. It really does. It really hurts, you know. But look at what, at the same time that she's losing her life and all of the fighting that she's fighting, you know, her fight is almost in vain because on the same day in Tennessee, the goddamn governor is given a proclamation and he's turning a whole weekend into a holiday that ends with a Robert E. Lee Day. This is in Tennessee, y'all. It starts with this Grand Wizard, and the end of the whole weekend ends with Robert E. Lee. So in Trump's America, in this new Trump administration, and the Trump America that you weird niggas is trying to justify going to vote for, in this America, everything is in the open at this point. They're not hiding. You know, there's no hiding anymore. It's blatant. Do you think in Barack Hussein Obama's term, do you think that they could have had a proclamation for, you know, for Larry Davis, nigga? You think they could turn a holiday from some of the cop shooters, from Pappy Mason and them, cop killers? But you mean to tell me that niggas is just sitting back while they have holidays commemorated for Robert E. Lee and other KKK and all? This is a white terroristic organization. This is Al Qaeda in America. This is a white terror organization that killed thousands of our people. So in 2019, you never made a white person denounce any of these crackers. On as tough as we are as black people, as scared of us as they are, we never made them denounce any of their quote unquote leaders, cause that's their leader. That's the big homie, nigga. That's their master teacher. He taught them how to kill niggas. You understand? He taught them how to dominate niggas. That's their hero. You know what I'm saying? That's their hero. That's the gentrification fucking patron saint, nigga. They love those men. And then you wonder why the spell is so thick. The spell is so thick because them niggas have encapsulated your enemies in bronze. And they stand them niggas up in statues in your face. How the fuck do you think anything's gonna work out for you? You know what I mean? That's a ritual. That's a ritual. And they have you commemorate Columbus. They have you commemorate Santa Claus, nigga. They have you commemorate their massacres and their genocide by Thanksgiving. They have you keep them in power with your black ass melanin power because it's on you. You are the observer. You are the one who will grant. You are the plug. You give out energy. Whatever you are focusing on, you are energizing. Whatever you praise, you are energizing. Whatever you're crying to and wailing and giving all of your energy to, whether it be Allah or Jesus, you are giving it your power. Don't ever get that fucked up. Nobody's giving you power. Where do you go to get powered up? Because if that was the case, niggas would be getting on planes every day going there. Where do you go to get powered up besides Dominican Republic? Where? And maybe Brazil. Where are we going to get powered up? We don't get powered up. We power everything up. Understand that. We power everything up. as a collective. But yeah, black men, we get our power from our women, of course. We get our power from plugging in to the infinite source of all energy on the planet, and that's the yoni. You know what I'm saying? We have intercourse. You enter her course. You plug the same concept of a plug in a socket, right? But the socket can't take too many plugs. You know what I'm saying? Because you could short circuit the socket, right? So protect your socket, god damn it. You should have one of those child-proof plugs on that socket, because a plug could plug into many sockets, but a socket can't have a million plugs plugging into it. You understand? Y'all get it fucked up with the body count, you know, with how these killings supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? Y'all getting murder all mixed up. We catch bodies. You don't. You know what I'm saying? You get your niggas catch your body gets caught. You don't catch a body, nigga. Your bodies get caught. You know what I'm saying? You get wear and tear. You ever saw an old prostitute? You can't handle too many plugs because it will break your body down. You ever seen an old fucking thot, my nigga? You seen an old thot before? They look like they got a whole nursery in their midsection. What's that about? You can't take too many plugs. It don't work. But I could show you pictures of older black men who bed many women, who have many, who they put their plugs into many sockets. And as long as it's clean energy, nigga, that's how we charge. They look very charged up. They actually look young for their age. How many women do you know that's letting mad niggas knock it down and they looking younger with their old faces and whatnot? Talk black to me. How many do you know that's like 30 years old and they taking mad pipes? They got mad bodies so they look 20 years old. It don't happen like that. It don't happen like that. You show me a chick with mad bodies on her motherfucking belt, I'll show you somebody that look older than their age, my nigga. And you should look at her toes too, because it's the hands and the feet that go first. You know what I'm saying? It's the hands and the feet on these thoughts that go first. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Factory. You know? Talk about black don't crack. Nigga, check they knuckles and they toes, nigga. That shit cracked. You know what I mean? They don't got Fenty for no toes, nigga. They don't got Fenty for the toes, nigga. Check the toes. The toes will tell you that she's older than what she says. You know? That's why the Africans be bleaching. They try to get in between the little knuckles and bleach and get that light skin. But it don't work. We could tell. We looking at your toes, ma. You understand? We looking at your toes and your elbows. That's your original color. It's on your elbow. Kim K looks good for her age. Really? How old is she? Here we go. Come on, load it up. Let's get it. Cause here they Kim K, yeah, she's modified. That bitch got the bread to cut all of her excess, her crow foot and all of that. Yeah. But she's like a gypsy though. Kim K, if you smoke strong enough weed and look at Kim K, you'll see her original face. You know what I'm talking about? She's like 90 in her face. You know what I'm talking about? She's like one of those gypsies. That bitch might be 200 years old. Kim K with the hairy back. You know what I'm talking about? She might be like 200. The whole family is old. Kylie and all of them. Don't trust that. They old gypsies that snuck out of Europe. Don't use a better example, please. Use a better example. If nigga put on the They Live glasses and looked at Kim Kardashian, she's like 99 in the face. I bet you she looked like an old haggard. You know what I'm talking about? She's like an old haggard. And she's just fooling niggas. She's just fooling niggas. Yeah, she's the Red Priestess from Game of Thrones. When she took off the necklace, her whole shit just fell. Mad wrinkles. Like, I don't trust that. Give me somebody else and don't say Amber Rose. Yeah, blood facials. You know what I'm saying? She probably getting all them blood facials and adrenochrome and shit like that. Nah, she's a gypsy. That's an actual term. Her people coming from the region that they come from, those are gypsies. Somebody said Beyonce look old and her body count is low. Man, if the Beehive heard that shit, your ass would get chased up out of here. Beyonce don't look old to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't see her without makeup because my name is not Sean Carter. Whenever she come out, nigga, her face is beat. She don't look old to me. She don't look old to me. I don't know what you talking about. Oh, she looked old at the Lion King premiere? How many kids she got? Hmm? How many kids she got? Like 4? Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj is not a super thought though. I'm asking y'all to give me a super thought. You know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj, she might get around, but she not no super thought. Cardi B looks 75. Yeah, them kids put years on your ass. Rihanna, Madonna. Okay, all right. Now look at Madonna with no makeup. She's the mother of these modern day. Kareen Steffens, Little Kim. Now look at Little Kim. Stop playing with me. Look at Little Kim. Like, look at Little Kim. Okay? Foxy is deaf. Look at Foxy. You know? Look at Foxy Brown. She's a mess. Yeah, Little Kim like the cat lady, bro. Trina. Trina's a mess. Trina's a mess. Trina look like somebody drunk on. Trina look like she got a mustache. Shit. Inga still got her looks. Nigga, Inga's crazy. How about that? But it's all good. I ain't hating on Inga. That's, you know, she cool, whatever. But I'm not, I can't necessarily say, oh, Superhead. You niggas is bringing up Superhead. I haven't seen Superhead. I'm not following her on Twitter. Queen Latifah is not a jump. Somebody said Queen Latifah's still beautiful. Halle Berry, you ever seen Halle Berry with no makeup? Black China, she's finished. She's finito. Rihanna still fine. Yeah, Rihanna. Look, y'all naming thoughts while they're thoughting. You know what I'm saying? Don't you're naming young fucking chicklets. These are young thoughts. I'm talking about give me the thoughts after the motherfucking bodies set in. Because the bodies haven't set in. You could catch a lot of bodies in your 20s and 30s and whatnot. Rihanna's a big thought. Facts. You could catch mad bodies. What I'm saying is the shit is going to catch up to you in your 40s and 50s. You know what I'm talking about? In your 40s and 50s. Now, if you going hard in your teenager years and you smoking mad cigarettes down to the butt, you got the Marge Simpson voice, you know what I mean? And it really depends on the niggas that you letting smash too, because a lot of y'all have quality, you know, you have quality, your quality pedigree, but you're like thoroughbred horses, quality, you know, you got quality, and then you go let a donkey hit it. You know what I'm talking about? You letting these niggas who are low pedigree beat the fucking box up. You know what I mean? You letting all of these niggas into your sacred throne. So you're gonna lose your you're gonna be lackluster. You're gonna lose your luster. You losing your shine. You ever met a young lady who lost her shine by letting dusty niggas hit it? You know what I'm talking about? And she couldn't clean herself off afterwards. You know what I mean? She had a forever dust cloud on her. Megan Good is married. Yeah, let's let's be respectful. Megan Good is married. I heard about Megan Good in Hollywood before she got married, but that nigga came and saved her. You know what I'm talking about? And when a nigga save you is different. He could offset your shit falling apart for about 10 years. He could hold it back. You know what I mean? When a nigga save you and marry you and you know, and he's holding you down, he's gonna hold the shit from falling apart if you was out there mad reckless. But y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when the bodies catch up to you. They out here killing still. You know what I'm saying? They still out here bodying shit, killing niggas. It's gonna catch up though. And I made that point to say that I think a woman's body count before shit really gets bad. What do you think? Is it 100 or 1,000? What is a woman's body count before shit really gets into the realm of thottiness? What is? Give me a number, ladies. Let me know. What's the number? 50? Shit. Some people have to tap out for one summer if that was the case. 30? Please give me a better number. Damn, y'all being real. 15? 60? All right, let me get a calculator because we all is mad years that niggas live. Some of us is in our 30s, so that's one. If the body count is 60, then that would be if you're 30 years old right now and you start skeeting when you were 15. What is that? 3 a year? Somebody said 100. I'm glad you keeping it a buck. Shit, that was my number. I was thinking 100. You feel me? I think the average woman might take down 100 niggas in her life. That's crazy. That's a lot of fucking first dates, y'all. 100. I'm just doing the math because I'm thinking that y'all have 30 active years, right? Women have about 30 active years. So you might knock down 3 niggas a year. Think about it. I'm just saying, I don't want to blow nobody up. Like, I don't. You mean to tell. Listen, all of y'all ain't in 8-year relationships and all of that. So you could run into 3 niggas a year who got some good game, and then on a leap year, one nigga knock you down. That's 100 if you acted for 30 before your grandchild got to know you as grandma. You saw the Mike Epps special. Before you became a grandmama, you was out there catching bodies. You know what I'm talking about? You was out there sniping these niggas. And chances are, you know, you was running behind Beard Gang. You know, shit was getting turned up. Niggas in the 80s with the BBS and the gold rims and whatnot with the big Motorola phones. You was taking down more than 3 niggas a year, though. You know what I'm talking about? That's a lot of energy. You know? That's a lot of energy. If they say that each man that you with, if his semen is in you, he becomes a part of you. Well, god damn it, then a lot of women are, you know, more than just bipolar. You know what I'm saying? They bicentennial polar. No cap. And it's no disrespect. You know, I'm not. Because I'm going to give you a little secret about men. I know that I could catch some slack for this. But goddamn it, you best believe our average body count is 100. You know what I'm talking about? That's the average. That's a square nigga at 100. You know what I'm saying? That's a square nigga who don't get out much. He's at 100 if he's active for about 30 to 25 years. That's a fact. You know? So I'm not judging. I'm just trying to figure this shit out. You know, I just wanted to know what was the average number before we start getting into thought territory. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know the numbers. I don't have all of the statistics. You dig? But the initial statement is that there's an energy flow that we're talking about in this world of duality. There's a plug and there's an outlet, and that plug goes into the outlet, but that plug comes out of the outlet. You understand? That plug right? There's energy. The outlet is electricity. The outlet is the source, and that plug is the conduit. And when that plug plugs into the energy source, that energy source sends energy through the plug, and you get charged up. That's what men. That's what happens when men have intercourse with the right yoni. You charge us up. You give us our power. And if we practice semen retention, meaning that we don't ejaculate or we don't have an orgasm, and we're able to take that charge and to hold on to the charge, that even makes us more powerful. You understand? It's a charge. And when you ejaculate, you get rid of the charge. But while we're having sex, while we're in intercourse, while we're mating, while we're having that sacred dance, the men are being charged up. You're being charged up. There's an electricity. There's a fucking magnetism. There's a force that we're inheriting. You know what I'm talking about? The force feels so good. Sometimes we just want to let it out. We just want to let go of the charge. But the charge is what we're holding on to when we don't ejaculate and when we're trying to practice. Keyword trying, because niggas be failing a lot. You know, when we're trying to practice semen retention, we're trying to hold on to that natural electronic charge. And if we can hold on to that charge, we could shoot that charge through our temple, through our body, up into our brains, up into our mind, and it can have us do miraculous things. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a secret. You know what I mean? A lot of niggas be watching Montauk Chia and act like he invented that shit. And it's been out, and that science has been around from time immemorial. You know? Yeah, brain fluid. Your semen is composed of brain fluid. We talked about this last on the show that just was on Monday. I know chicks do be in their feelings if you don't bust a nut on them. They be acting all, oh, I guess my box isn't that good. Nigga, what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need to go read some books or something. Like maybe Mary J. Blige needs to sing a song about semen retention so y'all can understand. Like, how? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because the more men find out how important their semen is, they're gonna start feeling like you a fucking vampire for trying to suck it out of them or take it out of them. They're gonna start feeling like, damn, you trying to take my life from me. This my life. This my light. It's called the blue light. You never heard of that? You didn't hear that your chi, that your semen is called a blue light? And that you lose your light every time you ejaculate? You didn't know that was the force with the Jedi? You didn't know that was the force with the Jedi? You didn't know that you feel weaker every time you feel like you missing a part of yourself when you bust a nut? Cause nigga, you lost a part of your brain. You ever heard the saying, fucking yourself into stupidity or fucking yourself dumb? You could do that. You could get rid of a lot of brain fluid and turn into a goddamn a mumble rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's why them niggas be mumbling so much. They don't got no more brain fluid. They jacking off too much. So, in too deep, since y'all want to talk about deep, in too deep on Sunday, we might even talk about that if you know, we might talk about the deep yoni. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about the deep state. We're gonna talk about the deep web. We're gonna talk about the deep south. We might as well talk about the deep yoni. You know what I'm saying? And some of the power that's going through that. You know? But I do have to get back to my studies. I haven't even been outside all week. You know, I gotta finish some orders. I'll be on that tomorrow, shipping stuff out. You know, I've been a recluse. I ain't had no company. I just been in recluse mode. You know what I mean? Studying, Oh, I have some very good news. Know the Ledge Radio is on Anchor. Okay? Know the Ledge Radio is on Spotify. Know the Ledge Radio is on Pocket Cast. I have uploaded my archives, me and Blue Pill, from 2010. I'm on that year right now. It's called season 1 for 2010. I might have uploaded about 40 shows. I'm doing that in between studying. But Know the Ledge Radio, I've been listening to all of my old shows. God damn, them some classics. Shit, bro. I didn't even realize how fire they were. But we were able to capture time. We were able to capture we were reporting on everything that was going on. Like that's some of the most important recordings that I've ever heard because I could measure my growth. I know who I am now based off of who I was in 2010. I think that I could even attest that, you know, we were a little more deeper in 2010 than we may be today. We may be a little more dumbed down in this present day reality that we're living in based off of the topics and the things that we're talking about. Nigga, we was touching shit on them radio shows that was completely on a higher level. I don't know what the fuck happened. I think it has something to do with the woke. I don't know, but it's scary to me. I remember I listened to a show, one of the shows with Polite, the first time he was ever on Blog Talk. You know what I mean? Like I heard a show the first time Umar came on. He was just starting out. Like it's so much history. Um it's so much history in those archives. That's the best way to say it. It's just so much history. Listening to Dr. Delbert Blair's voice, listening to Dr. Sabi's voice, listening to Dr. Francis Cress Welson's voice. All of these shows had me in tears because all of these elders and these master teachers were full of life. They were full. They were talking about plans that they had for 10 years later on down the line, things that they wanted to do in 2020 and shit like that. Like they really want they were here. They were immortal. They did not want to leave. They were not planning on leaving anytime soon. So go and check out the archives. Do yourselves a favor. Become more familiar with this movement. Become more familiar with who's who and who's not who. Become more familiar with where our minds was as a community. Because it's mad people on them shows coming through. Mad people on them shows coming through. You know what I'm saying? And you get to see where our minds were at 10 years ago. You get to see it because people are displaying their minds. I should get on podcasts. I just told you that that's the podcast. I just told you that. Know the Ledge Radio is on Anchor, which is a podcast platform. I'm on Spotify. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Pocket Cast. Know the Ledge Radio is a podcast. You feel me? It's podcast. Yes, I would definitely want to do Sirius FM or XM, whatever that's called. I would love to do something like that in the future. But we're going to hit up Zoe Williams. He's trying to get you on his show in Cali. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. I fucks with the Zoe Williams show. Blue Pill was on there. He did his thing. But podcasting in the near future, we are going to definitely bring that back. Maybe in 2020. You know what I mean? Maybe we might inaugurate Know the Ledge Radio 10 year because we started January 8th, 2010 on our podcast. So we might bring it back January 10th, 2020 and start a whole new season or a whole new cycle, you know? But for now, for right now, we're going to relish in those 600 plus shows that we did already. We're going to listen to the archives. Why? because this information that we dealing with is timeless. The teachers who we got on our show, they still popping. They might even be more popping now than they were when they started. So the information is timeless. The teachers is relevant. So the information, go and listen to the information. We were so ahead of our time. Understand, we were so ahead of our time that we were talking about things in 2009 that's coming out right now. That's a fact. That's a fact. We were so ahead of our time, not just us. You'll hear in the archives us predicting a lot of trends in social media and all over the place, technology, all kind of shit, introducing you to new things that you are familiar with now, but they were unfamiliar at that time. There's a joy in that, you know? There's a joy in that. It's going to show you consistency. It's going to show you what perseverance looks like, sounds like, because, you know, we still here doing it like this is our first day. You know what I'm saying? We still here. We still here. We still here. You know what I mean? And it's new actors in the theater. You know, there's a whole bunch of new actors in the theater. There's new people on the scene. There's new technology out. You know, it's a lot of things going on. So I think that we definitely have another season in us. I look forward to whatever the future holds in regards to that. But the archives is available for you to listen to on your devices, your smart devices, whether it's a handheld device or whether it's one of those series or some shit that you got hooked up, you know what I mean? Tap in. If you a truck driver, nigga, tap in. Like that you really could be a legend. Like as you driving up and down, just go in the archives, dive into the archives and completely tap in. All right. Title and tune in radio. I mean, you can still go to Blog Talk Radio and listen to the archives. You know what I mean? It's on Blog Talk. Yeah, the Blog Talks are still available. Mm-hmm. We didn't get rid of that channel. But one of the things that Blog Talk doesn't do is Blog Talk doesn't put those episodes in the realm of where I want them to exist. I want them to exist on all podcasts. I want them to exist in all of the podcast platforms. So I want digital distribution, and I don't think Blog Talk Radio affords you that. They just want you to be on their platform. In the day and age that we live in right now, it ain't about that. It's about being on as many platforms as possible. So it's shit that I never even known about. I never heard of these platforms, but we're going to put Know the Ledge Radio everywhere. Okay? We're going to put it everywhere because it needs to be everywhere. All right? I just see from my notifications that people are going over to Anchor and signing up to Know the Ledge Radio. All right? Salute to everybody signing up to Know the Ledge Radio. I need y'all to go there and listen to these shows and get these downloads and tap in to the high level of information that was being disseminated before some of y'all even woke up, before you got put on to consciousness, before you figured it out, before you had your red pill moment. There was work being done. There was a lot of building being done. You understand? There were solutions being put out there. There were people arduously busting their ass to help the people. To be honest, like I said, it looked like they was going a lot harder 10 years ago than they're going now. Everybody, which when you really think about it, you'll listen to it, you'll see what I'm talking about. They was going harder 10 years ago than they going now. The activity and the way that people are moving, they not going hard like they was going before. They were not. They are not. Don't let them fool you. They are not. Niggas is real lackadaisical right now. That's a fact. They are not. They're not putting it all. They're not putting everything. They're not putting their all in. Niggas is not getting the elbow grease. They're not getting into. They're not whipping their wrists. They're not whipping their wrists. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Is In Too Deep gonna be live streamed? Yes, it is. Live and direct. It's coming right to your phone. You got Know the Legend on Spotify? That's what's up. That's what's up. You know. Yeah, go get them tickets for In Too Deep. We're gonna explore a lot of things. You know, and it's gonna be informative, and then we're gonna keep it moving. Okay? We're gonna keep it moving. After I'm done with In Too Deep, I gotta focus on Facts 2020, KTL University, and I have a few lectures coming up. Baltimore. I'm working on Norfolk. I'm dropping Scorpion King Part 2. I'm not too sure. It might be in Scorpion season, you know, and it might come before that. You know. In Too Deep Part 2, go to Eventbrite. I'm going to be doing it live online, okay? I'm going to have it live online. It's called a live stream. So go to Eventbrite and purchase it. When you purchase it, you leave your email and all of your information, and I get in touch with you. You dig? So, yeah. But that's about it, y'all. You know what I mean? It's been exciting. I got work to do, like I said. So I'm going to tap out. But we'll be back. You dig? We'll be back.
Seize the ball and implement offensive measures, clinch the treasures and the trophies. The endeavor to do whatever, to die on both feet as opposed to both knees. Remain solid as oak trees. And whatever you doing, like Oakley, shit, who wants to be you and with both knees in ruin. No jewelry, just foolery attached to your name. The missed layups, coursing championship games. You can get way up, only to crash in flames. Niggas stay up, pleasure comes after the pain. Until then, you gotta lay up after the games.
For the self-help wealth, only play the cards I was dealt. If you ever struggle, I know how you felt. For the self-help wealth,